2, 1, and... All right, another quick changeover. Things are going very well. Never have tech issues on my streams. Thank you all so much for sticking around. Thank you again to our sponsors, USA Gundam Store, Robot Kai, Gundam Style, Gundam Planet, Turbo Dork Acrylic Paints, everybody, JoJoHobbyandStuff.com. Thank you all so much for your generosity and your giveaways. Again, a $5 minimum donation or free entry will get you automatically entered to win all of our giveaways that are happening today. That's going to run until 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, and then as soon as that changes over, it will be into the Saturday giveaways as well. So keep that in mind. We are over $4,000 freaking dollars, and we're only 6 hours in. That is insane. Thank you so much for your incredible generosity, everyone. And with all of that, I'm going to throw it over to Joerinferno, who's going to be doing some kit bashing with all of you. You got a couple guests with you as well, so I'm going to step aside and let you guys have some fun. Take it away.
Party hardy.
Hey guys, welcome on in. So as Jason so lovely introduced, I am Joe R Inferno, but Joe's just fine. I'm a Gunpla builder, variety gamer, but obviously I like to build Gunpla, and my specialty, if you want to call it that, is like the kit bash. And for those who aren't up to date on terminology, kit bashing is where you mix various different parts of different kits to make something new. Generally my kit bashes are based off people I know on Twitch, so you get like the thematic of like what colors they like or something known about them. But today we're here for obviously for a good cause, for charity, and I'm joined by two wonderful friends and people that also build Gunpla in the community. Guys, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Buds, you go first.
Hello guys, my name is EA Spuds from the Plamo Boob Report, and I'm here to hang out with Joe, with a cup of Joe.
Hey.
My name's Oblique. I'm also a Gunpla and Plamo builder, draw some stuff too, and I've met Joe through Twitch, and he's just been a lovely person to hang out with in real life and on stream, so I hope you guys enjoy.
Hey. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I see some familiar names in chat. Welcome on in. That is a Zoc. That's not an actual model kit though. It actually kind of looks like one. But for today's kit bash, what we're doing is we're taking IBO Grimoire. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. That I built a while ago, and we're gonna kit bash it with because when I saw this and I saw this what do you want to call that weapon, I thought Death Scythe. So we're going to try and kit bash this not only with a Death Scythe, but based on its claws, I want to add the Lupus Rex claws to this. So we'll see what we can mix and match, because kit bashing is not exactly a perfect science. It's kind of like a mix and match of how do I get this to work.
Some might call that an art.
There you go.
It definitely is an art, yeah.
Here's a clue, lots of dremeling.
And when in doubt, super glue, guys. Super glue is your friend. I've done it plenty of times. Love a Death Scythe. Hey, all right. Trial and error, exactly. But eventually, you kind of learn which pieces you can get to work together, or just ways to make it work. I guess pro tip. I'm going to call it a pro tip. I'm no pro, but a tip I would suggest is keep the runners, because those runners can be used as like a piece once you drill a hole into another piece to connect them, and then if you want it solid, to keep it solid, you add a little super glue, you know. But that being said, for my guests and everyone else in voice chat as well, have you guys had experience with kit bashing, and what was that like for you guys before? While we're going.
I guess I'll start. I'm Nelsonator, and my kit bash was from a bunch of spare extra parts I had to put together a Gundam for a contest. I had recently built the, it's one of those ones from Build Divers where it reused the Shining Gundam, and it gave you, like, the entire extra of the arms, of the chest, of the head, and with all of those extra parts, I went forward to kit bash a Gundam out of it. I ended up with, like, extra double Zeta thighs that became its thighs. I had, like, an extra pair of legs I sort of forced together from a bunch of other things. I think I stole a backpack from an Impulse Gundam to make it work. Yeah, it was interesting putting that all together.
Right, yeah, a Shining Break is a great kit. If you want, like, almost a complete Gundam. Shining
Spare
bright.
parts Gundam.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
A lot of the key joints are only duplicated once, but as long as you can sort of make something work, it'll turn out fine.
For myself, the first thing I ever built, I was talking in the green room before we started. I was in university, and basically I had a contest was kind of thrown up between me and my friend about building our custom Gundam, but like not with using one part from an actual Gundam. Everything else is from anything non-Gundam. So I ended up using parts from the Huckabee, if you're familiar with the Huckabee from Super Robot Wars, and I made this really, I can't even show you because it's in the shelf, but I still have it. Not my best work, but like it got me on that, you know what, I like mix and matching pieces to see what you can make, you know? Nelson's a bit...
I think that's like the biggest part of Gunpla in general, because they share like almost all of the joints, like the 3mm and then the ball joints, and you can just like mix and match.
Yeah, mixing and matching also, like, one of the things that's really easy to do is if you are building model kits that are using the same joint runner, it's generally much easier to, like, mix and match a bunch of pieces between them.
Yeah, I think some of the runners too, they all share the same runners throughout. Like the polycaps are one great example, and anything with a switch on the runner, which is like a flag that you can see in the circular part of the runner, that just means that they're going to reuse that into something like a special edition or to another kit. So I've seen a lot of those, and yeah, generally for me, like more repairing than kit bashing. I generally recycle a lot of other parts or other leftover runners, because you know it's inevitable. You will break something while you're building.
100%. And also sometimes you get like, for example, when I built the Gremory, is it Gremory? How would you guys pronounce it? Gremory?
It's
I'm
Gremory.
pretty sure it's supposed to be Gremory.
Okay,
yeah.
so the Gremory, I still have like these pieces left, like, but I keep them because, like Spuds is saying, sometimes when you're building, you break a piece or maybe you lose a piece, but now you got the extra one that's the exact same piece, but from another kit. So my advice is always keep these. Have a parts bin. You never know, especially these parts. These ones are like super key. And then sometimes you get the very interesting pieces that, like for instance, the Live Lance pretty much hints at a future Death Scythe Hell, because they literally include the helmet for the Death Scythe Hell in that pack, and like the wing shoulder mounts. So you know, same polycaps.
I think the runner names also like make it very apparent,
Yes.
but I can't read Japanese, so I'm going on word of mouth for that one.
I know your pain.
Just compare the box art. They have the both Japanese and the English name, and just say, "Oh, this looks like this." You know, it's like picture matching puzzle.
True. So for the Death Scythe, we actually have this old 90s kit that I was saving, like literally before they announced the HD Death Scythe. I went through like an arm and a leg to get this, and then they go, "Oh well, we're releasing the HD Death Scythe." I'm like, so this just sat on the shelf. So this is gonna be good potentially to use. Or conversely, I do have one more of these. So like, pick and choose here. However, I have
love the art on that box.
like this one. I'm assuming this one. Yes.
The one on the left, yeah.
Okay, oh, this one, the old school one.
Yeah.
Hey. And yep, I keep the parts too. Big Blue, definitely keep the Big Blue. But we'll try to use the first one, because what I've noticed is the head is a lot larger on the first one than the, I guess, the remake, if you want to call it. And then we also have the Lupus Rex, because I'm going to steal his claws for this, because looking at the Gremory, I looked at his hands, and I thought, you know, if those are just bigger and meatier, I think we'll be good. But I could show you one of the mods I was doing, I guess when I was building this. It's a really easy mod. So what you'll notice, I guess is me kind of giving a 101. I'm not really good at instructions, but when it comes to the model kits, I think all of the builders know that the design changes depending on the series and over time. So for instance, we're going to pop off the waist here. It's done in this with the hole in the waist and the connector on the torso, whereas in other cases it's the reverse, in which case the Death Scythe waist originally had the opposite. However, what I've gone and done is I've taken a drill bit, and we've drilled a hole. We cut it off the connector point, and we drilled a hole here. So now I made it just big enough that this should theoretically just fit together. But while I'm doing that, Oblique, why don't you explain your very first kit bash experience, because I was there for that.
Sure.
Before we get into that, we have a
Sure.
donation from Jonathan Whitesell of $5. Thank you, Jonathan.
Hey, thanks, John.
Oblique, over to you.
Well, I think my first kit bash was probably from, I think it was December. Someone in the community was having a kit bashing contest, and Joe was gracious enough to help me out. I basically told him my concept, and we looked together online, and it was the Alice THRU mixed with the Live Lance, and I was extremely lucky because the torso of the Live Lance fit perfectly with the waist unit of the THRU. I was super lucky. So I thank Joe for all the help anyway. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I definitely want to try some more in the future.
Oh, okay. But yeah, and guys, when it comes to kit bashing, like honestly, your imagination's the limit. Like, if you guys are familiar with I think like if I'm gonna go like one of my favorite kit bashes I've ever made. Hi, Little, what's up? I love you too. It would probably be, if you guys are familiar with G Gundam, I built and customized, built, painted, airbrushed it and everything. I'm not really good at airbrushing either. A Tequila Gundam, or Spike Gundam, in the English dub, and complete with everything, as close as I could get it, because like, you know, that doesn't exist. But it was just like, so people always ask me, how do you figure out what to kit bash together? And it's just an idea. So the idea is, okay, I want to make the Tequila Gundam. What do I need? What would work best? And then it's, do I start with a full kit? Like here, we started with a Grimoire, and now we're just exchanging out parts. Or do I start part to part? Like, do I start with the arms? What arms do I think would fit together? What leg pieces would fit together? And kind of go like that. And color scheme and stuff comes afterwards, you know? And it turned out really good. I can't show you the Tequila Gundam anymore because I put it on display at a shop. So, but it's probably one of my favorite ones I've done. Like just because, like, to actually get it to look what like I envisioned. But yeah.
Guys, go check out Joe's Instagram. He actually has a photo of that on his Instagram page. It looks really nice. And I know that Bandai, or somebody from Bandai, teased about an HG tequila as an April Fool's joke.
Oh,
I was pretty sad about that one.
Me too. I'm not gonna lie.
EA Spuds, why don't you go find Joe's Instagram and see if you can paste it in the chat there?
Oh,
Yeah, I can do that.
I appreciate that.
Little promo thing.
Thank you. So for the waist modification we've just done, actually works pretty nice. It's pretty stable for the most part. And again, if it's super loose, just add a little bit of nail polish or whatever to thicken up the part. But it's actually like passing the shake test at this point. So it's just really simple mod we're doing on this one. And now we've just got to make sure the legs fit. And if not, if this didn't work, basically, if this wasn't long enough to connect to the inner joint here, I would cut this out and then using a runner make a longer one. But I think we'll be fine. That being said, as anyone in chat have any experience with kit bashing or plan to kit bash? If so, I'm very interested to hear what you guys are planning to build. I think Max was doing a custom not too long ago, but go for it. And I know Oblique, did you want to share that, or is that like secret right now?
Oh, yeah. So I do have another kit. I do have another kit bash coming up. So far, it's going to be, and you have to help me with the pronunciation, the HG Dynames or
I say Dynamez. I could be wrong, but I say Dynamez.
And
I say Dynamis too.
Okay.
The Japanese call it Dunamis for some reason.
Dunamis, okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
And then the Astray Red Frame inversion. So those are the two kits that are going to be involved.
Okay, cool. So we're not going with the concept, but
Thanks.
just the kits. Perfect.
Yes, just the kits for now.
Okay,
just
cool,
for now.
Cool. Oh my god.
One of the really impressive things about Joe's builds, though, are, first of all, he's not limited to just 2 kits. Like, sometimes his kit bashes have pieces from, like, 5 separate kits. And to still make it look so coherent and smooth, like something that you could actually buy in the box, is amazing to me.
I don't recommend that, because that is super expensive. But Very, very expensive. That's why I just have a box of
Well-
old stuff now that I just take parts
Yep.
from.
Yeah, and that's just what you end up having. You have the parts bin where everything extra gets to live in, and every once in a while you look at the box and are like, dang, I wonder what I can put together from this.
Exactly. If you guys can take parts from like existing kits that you don't need anymore, or just want to like modify, I say do that. If you do have the money though and you want to do it, hey, go for it. Gunpla is freedom after all. You know what I mean? So, you know about mine. I do, Max. It's really good. I'm planning to do an RG Xiong and RG. Ooh, that'd be interesting. I'd love to see how that would work, especially because the RGs. I don't think a lot of people kit bash RGs. Now that I think about it, because of all the intricate parts in that. That's very interesting. Haven't done proper kits, but I do dabble in some scratch building. Cool. MG Providence, Zaku, Talgi's Flugel is also a very good kit. Thank you, Spuds, for the link there. Is that like the actual tequila gun?
I think it was like one with the tequila gun a minute.
Okay, so that's also, you'll also see my, so if you want to see that link, I'm pretty sure that's the Tequila Gundam with, if you guys ever watch Reboot, hexadecimal build, as well as the RX Kitty, which was done for a contest, in that three Gunpla picture. But thank you, Spuds, I appreciate that. If you're not doing, I don't know if I could do an MG kit bash. I feel like my wallet would cry, and I don't know how I would get that to work. But
I think MG would be really hard to do, right? Because like all the frames that you gotta put together, unless you're using like same frame.
Exactly. Or
Well, one of the things you can do on that frame, at least, is that you have a skeletal structure underneath everything.
True.
That you can sort of like hide some of your imperfections as you're kind of going, right? So I don't know. Maybe it's easier to just cut the frame apart and like graft new pieces of frame onto there, so that you can just make it sort of work underneath.
I've done that on the IBO frames, because that's exactly how they are, right? They're just frames with pieces on top. If something wasn't made to fit on it, try to get it to stick on. Again, super glue your friend, or if you can figure out a way to mount it using, again, pieces of the runner or something like that. And yes, that reboot, Dragon. Exact that reboot. RG kits are hard, but you can add to RG kits. Get my... Oh, okay. Dom legs. I think I've seen a picture of someone do that too. That's pretty cool. Stay in the same line like... Exactly, which is why whenever I ask like what's like an easy kit to start kit bashing with, as bad the joints get with the IBO kits, because all the inner frames are designed very similarly, you can definitely mix and match them a lot more easier than most kits. That being said, those entry grades and the 30-minute mission kits also share the same joint system, though. So theoretically, you can mix and match those parts, like the Leo, the 30-minute mission kits.
Yeah, they call that the fine build system,
Yes.
where they've got a bunch of C-clips in the knees and the elbows.
And it works. It honestly works. I mixed a Leo with the entry grade RX 78. The thighs to the shins, and then I used a different part for the feet. But the point is, you can do it, guys, and it's really easy to do for that sense. And here, see, look, with that cut in the hole, the waist works, the legs fit in nicely. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use the rest of these, like the actual parts on the legs, but I think the next thing we'll do is we'll build the hands for the Lupus Rex, and then we'll work on the Death Scythe head using the old school kit.
Yeah. While you pull those parts out, we have a donation from Nash Lake for $10. I've enjoyed the charity streams you have put on over the past couple years, and this is a great cause. Thank you, Nash Lake.
That being said, what? This may be a very generic question, but I'm always curious, what was the deciding factor that got people into Gunpla? I think for me, and for a lot of people who started with Gundam Wing as their intro, they saw that commercial. You know the commercial I'm talking about? Does everyone know the commercial where it's like level 1, 5 hours, level 4, like 48 hours, and it's just these people that built their Gunpla, and then they're just giving out times and levels, and it's like, what's your level?
I do remember that.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
And I was so shocked that one guy took like 78 hours to build an HG, I think it was GPO2, I don't remember, but they said some ridiculous numbers. I'm like, are these levels scaled?
I
Well,
question it.
The interesting thing is there is a like strict criteria by which they set the level. It first is by like size. So like 144, 1100, 160 for the PG, and then it's number of parts. So like a level 2 will have fewer parts in it than a level 3. So it scales up by complexity in that way.
And from what I know, they're exactly the same as like the regular like kits that they sell in Japan, but they're
Correct.
just flipped horizontally with the like skill level. Like,
Yep. Wait, does this
the
have
name
it?
there.
Yeah, it's right here. It's right here on the box. Skill level. This is Europe's box though, but still, skill level 2. Oh man, I love 90s. 90s are great. Oh,
Nineties were a good time.
They figured out a marketing campaign and they went for it, man.
100%. If it works, it works, right? And look, here we are. You can't say it didn't work. Here we are, most of us. Let's see what people have said. My uncle gifted me a kit. Fair. You you remember the commercial? I was bored and it was Christmas time. Thanks for making me feel old. I mean, I'm right up there. Don't worry. Adam Savage building the PG. That was pretty cool when I saw that he was doing that. I remember that commercial scared you. Okay. You're kind of interested. I went to pick up a book from Barnes & Nobles and saw, hey, sometimes, just passing by and window shopping, that's the best way, Dredged up in memory long. Everyone's not, okay. You gotta admit, at the time it wasn't bad, but by today you're kind of like, that was so cringe. But like still, it got the message out there, guys. It got the message out there.
I thought cringe was the 90s theme with all the neon colors and tie-dye shirts.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Spud. You're not wrong.
I mean, MTV generally explained what the 90s trend looked like, so.
True. And I guess for those, I'm Canadian, so for those of you in Canada, that'd probably be the closest for us would be Much Music back in the 90s. What was your level of commitment? Oh man, you do. War Harry, also welcome on in. I have a kit bash I can share anywhere. I can post a picture. Jason would have to field that one if they're allowed to post links. I'm not too sure.
We mods can post things, but generally we don't leave it open for general chat stuff in case somebody comes in with malicious intent.
Fair enough. The sign factor was Zoids being expensive.
Oh, dang, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Okay. How much more? Like, what's the difference in price? Because I know the Zoids are super complex as well, right? I've never built one, so I'm not too sure if anyone wants to jump in with that.
There are many parts, but it's one of those other things where I think they're owned by Takara. So they have a different pricing model than Bandai does.
Fair enough.
I think now it's Kotobukiya, right?
Takara
told me had it before, and then the license or the rights got to Kotobukiya, and then now Kotobukiya is selling it with premium. I'm not sure, but
one of the other things about Kotobukiya, compared to Bandai owns their lines that they produce kits on, so they're able to drive the cost down that way. But Kotobukiya does not, and they have to buy time in production lines to be able to make the kits. Fair. They also have to pay a bunch of money to middlemen on top of everything. And then I thought there was a weird block on getting Zoids kits into the US or something like that. So maybe that also has something to do with the price, because you're not going through the regular distribution channels to get it.
I could think of something, because Takara Tomy has a lot of Transformer license, and then with Hasbro going into the mix, I mean, it's just a fight out for who gets it or when can they, release it in the US. So maybe that's it, because I know their relationship, it's kind of like oil and water, because they don't say Transformers, they say some other name like Convoy. That was their original name for Optimus Prime.
Oh, that's right. What did they call it? I can't remember now. I watched that special too, but yeah, you're right. Spuds is right. Spuds, and then Oblique. And then whoever else wants to jump in. What was your first? What got you into building?
I saw a streamer, like, on the streamer's recommendation previously, I had watched G Gundam.
Yes!
I saw them building the God Gundam on stream, and I was like, I can do this. So I placed an order for the HG Master Gundam, the HGUC Zaku 2, the revived Cubely that had just come out, and the Palace Athene. And, like, the Master Gundam showed up first alongside, like, the building tools, so that was the first thing I built.
Right on.
I intended to start with the Zaku because I'm like, oh, well, that's only a $10 kit. I can learn on that and everything will be fine. And then the Master Gundam was just there before anything else. I'm like, well, guess I better start here.
And that's the one that comes with Foon Psyche, right? The horse?
Yeah, horse.
Oh, so good.
Man, Master Asia really got you good.
Yeah, man.
comes with a little Master Asia too. As we saw, Oblique just built that kit too. So I'm excited to see you paint the Master Asia.
Yeah, it was so cool. There's so many options for that horse in terms of paint job.
Yeah. And, like, the horse is in many ways a glorified stand, but it does a pretty good job at that. And, like, it's not that hard to do the color correction on it.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I kept searching for the stickers. I'm like, where is the yellow for the horn? Like, did I miss it? But no, you're right. And I was surprised too because I thought it was one that you'd be able to stand on all four.
I'm a little surprised too. I thought so too.
Right. Yeah. To answer your question, Joe, when I first got into Gunpla, it was November of 2020, I think. I was looking at Right Stuff, which is where I usually get like manga and anime on Blu-ray and stuff, and they had model kits, and I was just looking through there randomly, and I was like, I'd like to try this sometime eventually. And our anniversary was coming up, and my spouse bought me a kit by surprise, and I've been hooked ever since.
There you go. And Spuds?
Mine's gonna be a little unorthodox because of like where I started building my first kit.
Okay.
So I used to live in Korea, like for all my life. And right over there, you won't get any licensed Bandai kits anywhere. All you get is bootleg.
Okay.
And it's at the time where toys are like really expensive. Like if let's say you want a Power Ranger toys, it's at least $200 because it's an import and stuff like that. So back then, they thought it was a good idea to rename Gundam names.
Okay.
And make it into a cheaper version of the older kits, like the FGs, for example. So my first kit, and I love the concept of like making my own toy. Okay. And I only had $5 at that time. So I bought this very weirdly colored orange Tetsujin 28, which in the US they call it Gigantor.
Hey, okay. I know.
And it was so bright orange, and it was just two pieces together, and that's it. And then my actual Gunpla, like with the asterisks, is a silver Hyakshiki named Skyfighter. And it does a G Gundam kicking pose.
Hey.
So that was like my
That's
first
really cool.
Gunpla. And if you, I think if you search it on Google, and I think I'll post it on the chat so everybody can see, it looks ridiculous. And I think you can still do the pose with a regular Hyakshiki. I swear to God.
Oh, man. Okay.
But then ever since I got hooked into it, and yeah, here I am. Just trying to buy more kits and build more.
That's fair. I mentioned this last time I was on stream, but so I think the commercial, like I said, is what got me like, okay, I want to build one. And then I was a big Death Scythe fan, and I remember the Endless Waltz movie. Death Scythe was my favorite design, so I remember like this is high school me, telling my mom, I'm like, I want this. I said the exact name of everything, but I didn't say the right scale. I didn't say the scale at all. I originally wanted the 1/100, but I'm like, just the Death Scythe Hell custom, Endless Waltz. Mom's like, okay. And then I get a call from her. Is this the one you want? She reads it off, right? The exact thing. I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes, get that one. And it was the 144 one. But I ended, she did her best. She got me it. Just, that was my fault. It was ever. So, it's like, okay. And so I built it. And then ever since then, I've actually stayed in the 144 scale. And I kind of am glad because there's a lot of different kits you can pick at the 144 scale that I'd like to build and pick parts from.
I can't remember, Joe. Have you made an RG before?
Yes. Like our friend Gumpla Neon, my first RG was the Endless Waltz Wing Zero Custom with the wings, and it was not a good time because it's the first time I ever built something that complicated. And then with these hands and those tiny pieces, it was like parts flying everywhere, and then all the stickers. I didn't build another RG. Okay, that was whenever the Wing Zero came out. That's when I built it. I didn't pick up another RG until like 3 months ago because of how bad of an experience I had.
Yeah. I hadn't built an RG in a long time, and then I decided that, like, 2020 or 2019, I forget which one it was going to be the year of the RG for me, so I bought, like, 12 of them and built them up once a month. It is, very interesting to have the RG Zazabi as your third real grade.
I mean, it could have been the Zeta.
Well, see, I did the Zeta as a birthday stream where I went for 12 hours. And, like, I was pretty happy with the Zeta, you know?
Oh, really?
Like,
okay.
Yeah. That kit's good. Like,
I gotta have to agree.
A lot of people meme about it because, like, it's easy if you aren't quite building it right to apply pressure in the wrong place and break it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you just gotta be kind of careful. Like, the one thing I was unhappy about was the transformation, because there was a part in the manual that just did not click for me as I was trying to, like, get the arms in underneath and get the wings folded around. So it took me, like, a good, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes the first time I did the transformation to figure it out. And then it got much easier after that.
I think Zeta, like, at the time was, you know, so RG Zeta was my first RG, and I'm a huge Zeta Gundam fan. So when, like, a fully transformable Zeta Gundam at a 144 scale came out, I was really excited. Everyone was excited. But I could agree, the transformation process, yeah, you have to really be very careful with it.
I mean,
it takes a while.
The only reason I say the Zeta is because I think it was Jason's video I was watching.
Yeah, the crucible of the RG Zeta.
And I was just like, oh man, that looks so horrible.
Where he had like 2 or 3 nervous breakdowns.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh man. That's why I thought, like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from that one specifically. But you know, if people, you know what, I'd give it a try. It's just like the Zaku and the RX RG. We have a friend who does not like it either, but, like, you know, I'd give it a try because why not?
It's one of those things where, like, in some ways, the RG Zeta is what we were sort of hoping the line would be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's able to, like, perfectly mimic the gimmicks from the show or whatever in hand scale plastic form without breaking the bank. And the Zeta Gundam does it, like, barely, but it does it. And then you start to get into, like, later stuff that we're getting now, and they're barely using the B frame, the joint frame, and they're smaller master grades in some ways, and that's not necessarily what people like or wanted out of that line. So RGs have been interesting over the years as they've been, changing with the times.
And
I think it's more very experimental.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at
RGs.
did you see what they're doing with the God Gundam? Like that articulation where he's, like, doing all the stretches, like, that's pretty cool. He did a Jean-Claude Van Damme with the legs, like, splits. So I'm like, okay. So this one's gonna be the most articulated frame I've ever seen. So I understand the concept of experimentation when it comes to these, and we'll see what happens, because I saw someone mention that's what they're looking forward to in chat as well. And let me just see. I think my first was the Papa guy. Master Gundam. I hope they make an RG, like, more G Gundam RGs if the God Gundam goes well. I assume so.
Mr. Gundam, please.
Right? Oh, you know, I'd love. Oh, you know, let's go with that. Let's go. What would be your, like, dream RG? This goes to chat too. I know we I'm jumping on questions here, but it's just like we're going on some good topics here. So, like, what would be your dream RG, guys? Like, RG heads are opinion next. I see some people love the RX. That's fine. If I could pick anyone, I'd say I'd want a the Dark or Devil Gundam as an RG. I know that's a long shot. That'll never happen. But just to get that transformation, like, because we're talking about transformation, right? And if the Zeta's like the test bed for an RG that transforms, could you imagine the Gundam head on the Devil Gundam?
Yeah, there's even the old kit that can do that transformation, but there are definitely some compromises in play to make it work.
Right? So I'm about that. A
I
GM.
think I would put Double X on there just because I like the Double X a lot.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't have any like Gundam X kits for a while after the X Divider.
Yeah, they made the Genis, I think, or the Daughters, but that's like a P Bandai kit that they released, and they only made because of like using it as a grunt suit in Build Divers Re-Rise. So X does not get all that much love, even though it's got a bunch of weird suit designs in it. Like, if they can do that, then they can definitely put together the Versago or the Astron, but probably the
Oh.
Versago.
I would love to
like,
see that.
One of the things they do with the RG line is they do like lead character machines and then or rival suits, and like you could do the X or the Double X and then the Versago as the sort of rival for it, and I think that could work out pretty well. But X is not terribly popular, so we'll see when they finally get around to that.
Okay. Some answers in and Oblique. I'll let you answer as well. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna catch on chat and then we'll go to you. Is that cool?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Somebody said RG Ball. I'm not sure if that's. If you're serious, that'd be actually still pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. The Windmill Gundam. I'd love to see any representation from RG Gundam. I'll be honest with you. Other than the God Gundam. Turn A would be great. I thought they were gonna do Turn A, and then they dropped the bomb with the God Gundam, which is pretty cool. RG Cubile, a GM. I'm pretty sure they had. Somebody can also correct me. I'm pretty sure they had like mock-ups or like a proto
There
GM,
was
right?
a point at the beginning of the line, but they weren't entirely sure what it was going to be,
Mhm.
and it was a bunch of UC suits, like grunt suits. So they had just made like the Zaku 2, and I was like, okay, well, we're thinking about a Jim, we're thinking about a Dom, we're thinking about a Goof, and there were like pictures of like these concepts sort of lined up, and then they sort of took the line in a different direction. So at one point they were advertising making in RG Gym at trade shows and stuff, but they never did.
Okay, so I didn't imagine that. That's cool, but I think that'd be great if they did go with the GM then. Because then you could do that, like, I'm thinking Kitbasher side, you could use that as a base, you know, and right away I'm like, then that just, like, opens the door for, like, customizations, personally. Oblique?
So here's the thing. I've never built an RG before.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
I have
So
a couple.
So what would get you to build an RG? What needs to be announced for you to go
Yes.
out there day one and pick it up?
Well, here's the thing. I already have two. There's the Sazabi. I forget which one in particular, but it looks really cool. And then there was a P Bandai. It was the Evangelion Eva 01, the
Oh, right.
night
Whoa.
color combat. I know. I'm not brave enough to take that leap because, like Joe, I stick around a lot with HG kits. I've done a couple of master grades, and most of the time something goes awfully wrong. So,
Hey,
yeah. If anybody has
are you-
suggestions?
I used to be that way too, and it sort of comes down to like you just kind of have like that's your own mental block that you've sort of put in place. Like you've sort of put these other things on a stand that you are like you think it's so important, right? You just got to kind of break out of that and realize plastic is plastic, or at least that's what it took for me to start building other things than HGs.
That's fair. Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement.
Yeah, get to it. You'll do fine.
I think
Yeah.
it's a very unique design, depending on which one you're building to. And I think it does open the idea, like, I would like to see this kind of complexity in a specific kit afterwards. Like someone mentioned RG Nobel. I think that'd be great. I would love to see more.
Oh,
like that,
yeah.
right?
That'd be really cool.
Providence, if they could get all the funnels to work kind of like super articulated, I'd agree too. Proto Zero, Endless Waltz, RG Ground Gundam and its variants amaze me. Goof would be cool in a Dom. And you know what? I want a regular HG Turn X to begin with, but an RG Turn X would be cool. Also, B, hello, welcome on in. Oblique, you can do it, says Old Man Woat.
Thanks, Woat.
Just dive in. There's so much fun. RG Evangelions are a work of art. They look really cool, and I'm really glad they're expanding the RG line for the Evas because they're also like they just they either announced or released the Ava Unit 4 RG that comes with the shield. Because that one you never saw on the show. You just saw a brief glimpse of it. So it's kind of cool that they're doing that. Because if I was gonna build the Ava, I'd have to collect them all. There'd be no way I'd stop at one. Like you can't just do one. You know what I mean? You got to finish them all, and then plus the movie ones. Like if I hope there's model. They have to be model kits for that. Like, oh man, it's a rabbit hole. I tell you, you start building one. Like all the Gundam Wing people that are coming out now, like the Shenlong coming out. I gotta buy that. But then I gotta buy 2 of those because I want to build one and then design one with something else. But that's great times.
Yeah, you got Kitbash it into an Ultron.
There you go.
Man,
Before
yeah.
they announce an Ultron like 2 years later.
Oh man.
You know what's funny about the Ultron and the Shenlong kind of controversy?
What's that?
So remember in Build Divers, they released like the I forget what it was called.
GN Ultron.
The
Yeah.
GN Ultron, and everyone's like, "Oh God!" So the regular HGAC Ultron will come out. 2 years later, nothing, and then there was like a bunch of memes where some of the 4 starter suits for Gundam Wing came out, and Shenlong was missing in the picture, and then finally Shenlong came out, and we're like, finally, Wufe gets his glory kind of deal.
But now they're coming out with the upgraded forms of the other Gundams too.
Right, as P
Bandai.
Yep.
I mean, they're doing the whole Wing Gundam thing again, right? For the P Bandai, like the custom version. If you're if you're in my age group, you know that the EW version was actually custom before, and then they had this whole change in like the story.
It's because the custom versions that they're putting out in the P Bandai line now are like Heavy Arms and Sandrock didn't get a second form per se, but they had to get upgraded for space. So it's like you get a new backpack and maybe a new weapon. Congratulations, Heavy Arm Custom! Woo!
Exactly. Or it's
Not
like
to
you got an
completely
Uzi.
derail the
You got an
conversation.
Uzi. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, please. I'll finish your thought. I want to derail the conversation when you're done having it.
Basically, like when we're going on the weapon upgrade, I think Sandrock only got an Uzi as his upgrade, and like, yep, he's ready for space. Send him off.
He got a new backpack, but he did get that Uzi.
Yeah.
Right.
One other thing to jump in with here before Jason derails everything. We have a $10 donation from Perhaps. Let's go, Joe. Let's kick Alzheimer's booty.
Hey, perhaps.
Thank you, Perhaps.
And to derail the stream slightly, and then I'll go back to lurking because I need to rest my voice a little bit. So as you all know, when we hit $10,000 in donations, we're already like halfway there, which is insane. We're 7 hours in. That's ridiculous. So thank you so much for all of you support. I did go next door and I bought some Pepsi
Hey.
Oh,
and some milk.
pilk.
If you want to make that happen, Chad, you got about $5,000 to go.
Oh.
For the end of the weekend.
Let's
to
do
prepare
it.
myself, though. So to prepare myself, I saw something that really kind of weirded me out. So apparently, Pepsi has a nitro version now. Like it's carbonated, it's like nitro, and they had a vanilla nitro Pepsi. I purchased that, and I can only imagine that is literally just Pilk.
Nah.
Because it
No.
has the consistency of a milkshake. It's weird.
Yeah. I've only seen the commercials, but it looks like a beer. Like when
Yeah,
I first saw the
kinda.
commercial, I was like, "Is that beer? No, it's Pepsi."
Oh
It's,
no.
it's beer with 120% daily value of sugar. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
It's actually really good. Like if you're like if you like stouts, it's exactly what it is.
I could never finish a whole one though. Oh my god.
Yeah,
So
but
much.
it's without the fizz and that creamy texture. Yeah,
Okay.
it goes through it's really good.
Okay.
I wanted to update the chat and let them know that the Pilk has been obtained. If you want to make it happen, you got $5,000 to go. I will leave.
Let's
you back to talking
go.
about gift batches.
There's a very good chance it's gonna happen if this is the first day and it's at $4,000.
Well, no, I fully expect that'll happen by the end of the stream. And I know we haven't been calling out followers here, but Tactical Twerking, thank you for the follow 7 minutes ago. I'll let you get back to your stream.
No worries. Also, AO Mecha, Saya, how you doing? Welcome on in, perhaps. Kat, hello, and you can come out a slight lurk if you want to answer this, Jason, or in chat. Someone's asking if we get to 20k, will you add Mentos to the Pilk?
Oh my god.
That sounds like a terrible idea. I can't guarantee I'll drink it because it'll be all over the house.
Oh.
That's a terrible idea. Why would I do this?
So is that a yes?
Do it for charity, man.
Oh.
Do it for charity.
Science!
Like-
Science!
That'll
Besides,
like make me actually explode though.
Oh, so funny.
I don't want to die for a meme.
Oh.
we're gonna send Jason to space. Come on, everyone.
Yes,
It'll be
that's what
great.
it is.
That's-
Just
yep.
turn me upside down and just go.
Easy Gen saying,
Oh.
Mentos Pilk! Mentos Pilk!
Tactical pilk.
Oh.
M-Pill. I like it.
Oh my god.
Easy, gent. Really? I'm going to eat hot chip with pill?
Mentos Pilk. Mentos Pilk.
See, I
Should
feel like the pilk would help the hot chip though.
I can see
I-
that.
I-
I would
agree.
think so. Yeah, true.
If it's whole milk, yeah, but if it's skim, nah.
I'm very
I mean-
proud that I've completely derailed your perfectly serious and normal kit bashing conversation with talks of Pepsi milk.
It's all good. It's all
I'm very
good.
proud.
Oh.
You know, now that I think about it, one chip and pilk might help because you won't feel anything. You know, your taste bud will go numb for like 1 hour. So you won't taste the pilk.
You'll
I
feel
think it
it,
might work.
but you
I
feel
think
it.
it might work.
I'd rather taste the pilk than the hot chip. I bought one of those one chip challenge chips like 2 years ago and I never ate it. I still have it actually somewhere.
Oh, so the spice is well aged?
All right,
This
so
is-
if we get to 25, we're gonna have the chip. Gotta have the chip.
I will try to find it if I have it. We can break it open at
There you
25.
go, guys. There you go. You heard it here.
During
Let's
this
go.
thing-
All
All right, I'm gonna go back to lurking so I can rest my voice. Have a
Okay.
good one. Have fun. The kit's been the stream's been fun. I've still been watching on my big TV
Awesome. Thanks, Jason.
because I have the internet speed to handle it. That's not a flex.
Before we continue to any other topic, I just want to tell everyone where we're at. We've built the head from the Death Scythe Hell, the original 90s kit. However, I've taken the face of the Live Lance and I've glued into place because the old 90s head is pretty large in comparison to like the modern kit. I'm not even showing it on the camera. Oh, there you go. Yes. And we're gonna add this on top and see if we can close the cloak. It should fit in theory. Like, take a look how it's already looking, guys. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the idea I had. And in terms of paint scheme, if anyone's familiar with Freddy Was Wrong in the community, he does a lot of horror pla. So this is supposed to represent Freddy when we're done. And Freddy's so graciously offered to paint it. And he's a great painter. And he's going to be doing it in a horror aesthetic. So imagine these claws kind of with a red tinge, if you know what I mean. But we'll see how else we're going to change this up, you know?
I really like that Death Scythe on those shoulders. I think they fit really well.
Right?
Yeah, it looks really good.
I'm thinking it's pretty cool. It has a very I mean, that's all the IBO kits have, like a Terminator appeal to it, which, you know, speaks to my inner 90s child. But I just gotta clean up the V-fin a little bit here because this plastic is weird. I've noticed 90s plastic is interesting.
Yeah, they get dusty.
And now it's stuck in his head, and I can't take it out because it's too thick. Okay, got it. And we're using the sanding sticks oblique. So, like, wonderfully sent me because I don't have them, and now I do. So thank you, oblique.
You're welcome.
Makes
So,
Go on.
question for you, Joe,
What's up?
and for everybody else too. Do you have like a dream kit bashing project that you just haven't gotten to? If so, what has prevented you from getting to it?
If I'm gonna speak, it's like the big projects, like the big kits, the Dendrobiums, the Psycho Gundams, the what's that big one that's too expensive? It's the size of a toddler.
Zeong?
Yes,
Zeong?
that one. Like, could you imagine being able to one build it and then two customize that? Like if I could, like theoretically thinking here, like it'd have like detachable like little drones like of like mobile suits that would come out of it or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but like if I had the time, oh man, Neo Zeong, yes.
The thing that keeps me from doing my kit bash thing is I have something very specifically shaped in my mind that I want to build. but I'm looking for parts that will sort of like work for it, right? And it will have a big sort of cowl that'll sort of come over the shoulders. So I'm looking for, like, say the 00 with its two binder things that sort of come over the shoulders, or maybe the Dynamis or something, to like find something that is already built in and articulates back and forth, so I can kind of make that. And it's always hard to sort of find anything that does it because Gundam doesn't do it that often. I also have to figure out a way to like, I like some of the bigger shoulders, like on the Freedom and stuff, where they just go out sideways.
Yes.
And none of that works with this idea at all because they just collide and don't do anything. So trying to find the pieces I want from kits that already exist is like I end up disappointed most of the time.
Spuds, do you have a dream kit bash that's holding you back? Something's holding you back?
Mine is kind of weird because I'm not sure if it's a kit bash or not, but have any of you guys played any of the Armored Core series?
I have not.
Okay,
Heard of
so
it, but I have not.
so basically Armored Core is it's by From Software, so with Elden Ring and Dark Souls creators, with very confusing storyline of you don't know what's going on. But basically it's a robot simulator where you customize your robot basically. And my dream kit bash is I do have like a specific robot that, or we call it Armored Core. There's a specific Armored Core that I put together and paint and everything. The problem with that one is that they haven't released those option parts for any of the weapons that I use in the game. So I may have to scratch build them eventually. So it's kind of one of those things where I'm just trying to find if there's anything pre-made, or I have to just full out do a scratch build for that one. So that'll be my dream, because I do still have the save file. I still pop it in time to time, and yeah, I would really love to make like a replica of that in a kit form.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like me going back to Xenoblade X every once in a while for the giant robots.
Oh, that game. I love it for the giant robots.
Yeah, they did have a Xenoblade kit
For
but
the formula scale, and then they did some
Correct.
stuff for Xenoblade 2, but like I did not like the formula that much compared to using like the heavier stuff.
Right, same here. They only released that one and they'd never released it again. So sad.
Oblique, do you have one?
Well, I have an idea for you, but the kits that I was looking at are hard to find at the moment, so I'm gonna keep it under wraps for now
Okay.
until I find those kits, and then you'll probably get it in the mail.
Oh, okay. Surprise me. Just catching up. They're still talking about Jason in space. Okay. Just an idea is going. Is it?
Could I chime in with a donation, possibly?
You sure can.
So Bell the Sheep with a $10 donation says, "Love you guys, heart emoji." No, not emoji. What do we call that anymore? Emoticon. That's what it's called, emoticon. It's time to build kits and kick Alzheimer's butt, and I've got plenty to do both. Well, thank you very much, Bell the Sheep. See, we didn't miss you. We just gotta get to a normal part of the conversation.
You got fitted in.
Hey, Belle.
Yeah. Welcome.
And Belle also mentions, Joe, give me an RG Neo Zeong. I don't. Jeez.
Oh God.
That'd be intense. That'd be so expensive and so intense.
Even the HD one is really intense.
Oh, but if I could, I mean, I'd give it a try. I don't know if I'd probably cry halfway through it, but you know, that's how it is sometimes. What else? We had a Psychodendrobium would be interesting. If Psychodendrobium isn't just the Dendrobium, but with the giant funnel claws, beams everywhere, it's not a Dendrobium. 80s big hair-inspired build. Is that complete with like a rocking guitar, like an electric guitar axe or something? Because I'd be down for that. Counts as bash. I'm also just no full kit. The hot chip link is now in the staff. Okay, there we go.
Uh-oh.
There we go. I'm trying to see if I can get this hood over, but I may have been overzealous with this head choice. So we'll see.
So we were talking about the hot chip a minute ago, and then I promise I'll leave you alone.
No worries.
But I did find my chip.
Okay.
It is from 2020,
Wow.
and it expired February of last year.
Just missed it.
I don't know if it'll be safe to eat, not that it was in the first place.
Oh, it sounds like the perfect thing that you should just throw in your mouth right now.
Just drink a Pepsi Bismol and you'll be good.
For science! For science!
I'm thinking I might need to up that to 50,000. All right, I'm gonna go sit down now. My ankle hurts.
Okay, bye. Meg, hello! Welcome on in. Do not stiff the mold this time, Jason. That's the advice people are giving. Okay.
Duly noted.
So, yep, that's the only issue I have right here, is the hood's not going to go over the head, but I could probably figure out something, extending the backpack portion or something. But you can see where it's going with this, guys. You can see where it's going. Hopefully I can get it over. It's not bad. I might work the V-fin, actually, then. Let me take the V-fin off. Maybe that'll work. Was there ever a kit you guys built originally that you'd want to redo because reasons? I know, Spuds, you had some. I think you tried to do burn damage, if I remember your story right, and you ended up melting some of them or something.
Yeah. So this was like before I knew. Well, again, back in Korea where anything is possible, I've actually used a desk lamp, the bulb of it, and start melting pieces over there. I did make a video about that with like using a bunch of lighters. Again, a 10-year-old with a lighter, please keep them away from it. But I literally destroyed a MG 1.5 gram. And it looked cool, but it was far too burned to crisp that it just looks very dirty. So that's the one regret that I have. But again, I was young.
Oblique, is there a kit that you'd like to do over if you could?
I mean, there's one I'd like to complete if I could.
Oh.
I think I don't know. I messed with those polycaps and those joints to death, pretty much. So the MG heavy arms, those arms, just too heavy.
Yes, I'm sure. Like I'd say rebuild it, but I'm sure you'll get it. I believe. I have faith.
Thank you.
That you'll get
Thank you.
There are many ways to fix a polycap to make it hold.
Do you mind sharing?
I was gonna say.
I'll write it down.
Well, I didn't know if we want to hear Nelsonator first before
Yes.
I go into that.
Yeah,
Fair.
well, one of the things I was going to say is if you're taking off the V-fin to make it work, like, what if you cut the V-fin in half and then mount it on, like, the cowl that comes over the head? Would that make sense?
Yes. You know what? I can get behind that idea. Yeah, 100%. It kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the first thing is just to see if it fits over the head without the V-fin in place, because then you gotta make other changes anyway. But it's another idea for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Actually, it does. Goes. Let me pop the head back here because I was just testing. Yeah. Whoops. Anyways.
So I think the Forbidden Gundam from the Gundam Seed Destiny series had kind of that design with the hood.
Yes. I was just gonna say like the homage to it, but yeah. See, if it works like this, and we just put it on the top, I'm about that. I can make that work. Thank you, Nelsonator.
What if you put like a clear visor on that hood just to cover the face?
Oh, okay. So kind of like Bubblegum Crisis. Does anyone remember that show? Bubblegum Crisis. Oh, if you haven't, there's two versions. Some people swear by the 80s version. I'm okay with either, but the 80s has really good music. I'm just gonna say that right now. Super glue on the joint, keep moving it so it won't set in place. Fair. Yeah, with the IBO kits, you definitely want to thicken up the joints, 100%.
So to that polycab, so there's two ways. One, I think Squiggle Mouse posted in the chat. Super glue is one thing that you could like coat it around it to make the joint like tighter. But you could also use a flat top coat. Just lightly do like one or two coats on it, and then when you're trying to fit it, you can sand it little by little.
Okay, smart.
I prefer the super glue route though. I agree with this.
Yes, super glue is probably the most odorless and probably the safest way to do. Because I mean, depending on where like what your spraying situation is going to be, but it's definitely like an easier way to do so.
Okay. Look at this hands. Thanks, Bell. Thank you. Kentucky Fried Gundam. I'd love to do another MG Hazel to modify it into a lankier design. Yes, hey Demon, welcome on in. It is actually, I think I'm gonna go with the name Grimoire. What did we say? Grimoire Death Demon or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but definitely Grimoire Death something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, so while we're reading chat here, we have a donation. Gonna stretch out for this, get myself ready.
Okay.
From Black MX, $10. Answer me, Domon! The school of the undefeated of the East! The winds of the king! Senshin! Kiretsu! Tempa Kyurin! Look! The East is burning!
Thank you.
Thank you. Black MX.
That hit me right in the feels. Oh.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit loud, but I had fun.
Oh, that was good. Thank you for that. Oh. I put my fist to the screen. You all saw it. Oh.
It's beautiful.
Thank you for that. Oh, okay. So I've lost my train of
Pronounce
thought.
more Japanese words as white as possible. Well, excuse me, Stroud. How about you come in here and show me how to do it yourself?
Oh.
How about you both do it?
Yeah, I just remember how Mark Gatta pronounced it in the show, in the dub himself. So that's what I go with.
I mean, I loved his take on it though. Like just.
Oh, he is here. He is here to talk smack. Hello,
There he
Stroud.
is.
Just so we're clear, Nelson, those were words of encouragement because it's one of my favorite things of all time is just pronouncing Japanese words in the most American way possible.
Yeah. We get out there, we do our best.
Deshpa.
Oh, okay.
Hadouken!
Oh. Okay. That's great. Great though. I do love G Gundam. The dub is over the top, but I love it because of that. I remember getting my experience with G Gundam was my sister went to a Walmart, and you know those discount bins? There was one G Gundam DVD in there, and then she's like, "Hey, you like this stuff? I bought this for you." It was like $5. I'm like, "Okay," and I popped it in and never looked back. I think it was the Egypt episode, and then he just went shining finger on the guy, and I'm like, "What am I watching?" I'm like, "This is amazing!" Like, where do I get more? And then I had to buy the whole series. That's how that started.
Sounds like you have the best sister ever.
Oh no, it's just like I said, like all the accidents that happen with Gundam in my family have been like nothing but blessings in the end. The wrong scale, I'm happy with the scale now. The G Gundam thing, like I got to experience G Gundam. I probably would never have heard of G. You know, that's a lie. If I probably kept building consecutively, I probably would have stumbled on G Gundam eventually. But yes, it's great. Or at least I think it's great. Feel free to disagree. There's no wrong answer there. But speaking about Gundam series, is there a Gundam series that speaks like that you love the most? Let's go with that. I think is a good G Gundam, just straight up G Gundam.
That's all there is to say on the matter.
Okay. Spuds and Oblique.
I've only watched a tiny bit, so I need to watch more before I have that opinion.
Okay, that's fair. Spuds.
This is always a hard question that I get in stream, but I like Zeta the best.
Interesting. Okay. I would have thought you were like MS team, if I'm so honest. I thought that'd be like
So MS Team was good.
Mhm.
I really like the concept of like a superhuman individual going through war because it really portrayed it very well. It's very realistic. But I think at the time when I was watching Zeta, it's kind of like the homage that they had with the 1 Year War. Like we got Char becoming Quattro and then Amuro and his mental state of the whole thing. And you know, the reoccurring characters, I think that's what I really love about it.
it kind of
And the one biggest thing is there's a lot of mech. Like I think Zeta introduced me to a lot of different types of mech, like the Titan version, the Neo Zeon, the Xeon portion. So there was like a lot of robots out there. So that's why I really loved Zeta, because it introduced a lot of possibilities from there to, I guess, further into the Universal Century, like Zeta Plus and all those other stuff. So yeah, I like those kind of stuff. I'm a Anaheim Electronics fan, a huge
yeah.
one.
One of the other things I want to point out with Zeta that I really like is the exposed power cabling that all the mobile suits get.
Oh,
Where, like,
yeah.
They were just building fast and loose and had no idea what they were doing, so the power cabling is just everywhere. And then by the time you get to the end of it with the Cube Lead, like, that stuff starts to become internalized as they've sort of, like, figured it out and are settling on their designs.
If I'm gonna pick, the fun-loving me would love to say like G Gundam, like 100% G Gundam. But I also did like 00. At least the first season of 00 was, I thought, really well done, and then it kind of went all over the place in the second season. Personally,
How'd you like the movie?
I think a lot of people share that opinion about 00.
The movie was interesting because I'm pretty sure that's the first. Is this gonna be a spoiler? Can I spoil it? Like, people haven't watched it yet? But the main, I'll say this: the main antagonist of the movie was an interesting take, because I don't think that existed in previous iterations of Gundam in any universe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You are watching a Star Trek movie that turns into a Star Wars movie at the end of it.
Okay.
I didn't know if I was watching a Gundam movie or not, because it just went 180. I'm like, what is going on?
Okay. People in chat have talked about Turn A. I thought Turn A was good. Towards the end, there's a lot of exposition dump, though, which is, to me, it was like a lie. If they had spaced it out, I think I'd be fine with it. G is second, X is third. X is interesting. I only watched a few episodes of X so far. I'm making my way through it, but the first couple episodes where he meets, what's her name? Somebody help me, Spuds.
Tifa?
Yes.
Deal?
Yeah, and then like you see what happens with new types and like the psychic connection, that blew my mind. I was like, oh.
I think Nelson and I probably have similar opinions about X. Because a lot of people out there will tell you that X was grossly underrated and it didn't deserve the cancellation. And personally, I feel that X was very properly rated. It was kind of a mess, kind of didn't live up to its potential.
The big thing for me is I sort of cottoned on to their writing style and how they were going to solve all of their problems kind of going through. And like, from what I know of the cancellation, I got told you were going to make 10 more episodes, and it came at the end of this arc where they were just kind of like meandering around these war-torn countries trying to intervene and make things better and just not able to do anything about it. And like, in the middle of that sort of filler arc, getting the notification that you're going to get canceled as like you're just kind of wandering around exploring your themes, like, it made a lot of sense why it came down when it did.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there are some cases like that with the other series. Like, I think Age was one of them.
It had such a good concept, though. It had such a good concept.
So, did you know Age? Excuse me. Age was, it's made by Level 5. What was it?
Yes. Yep.
And basically, the whole concept of Age, and this I had to like research a lot, but Age had a lot of different designs and concepts suited for video games, but they couldn't fit all of them into like a 50 episode.
Like,
so
the thing I thought is that they were told, or they said, we are going to make a video game, and then later Sunrise came around to them and then said, you are also going to make a show.
Oh.
Yeah, and
that's the scuttlebutt that I had heard about it.
So it felt more like an abridged, like all of a sudden, like the generation shift just happened way too quickly, and there's a lot of missing gaps in between. So I thought that was like really unfortunate because Age would have been really good, but due to that,
one of the other things that I think also is sort of required watching before you sit down for Age is you sort of need to know the original 0079 Zeta Double Zeta into CCA, because they sort of speed run all of those plots all at once with like how the mobile suits sort of like grow and change designs and stuff. Like, the Age is the old grandpa, the Age 2 is the Zeta Gundam where it gets the transformation into the bird mode and all. The H3 is the Double Zeta where it gets the big, huge, over-the-top cannon. And then the FX is the new Gundam, except the funnels are blades instead of shoot.
Oh, you know what? I never thought of that. Oh, yeah.
And like they try to redo the sort of redeemable villain act with Zahart, who serves as Char for this, and it like I'm not going to come out here and say like it works, but it's like I feel like you need to watch Age when you are sort of repackaging the original Gundam shows. I think it works much better on that front. But on the other hand, like the best part of Age is probably that second arc with Asimu. But other than that, there's not really a reason to kind of watch it, you know?
Okay.
Dragon Ball saying they slaughtered my poor boy Zahart. Yeah, they sure did.
I think cliche is the one thing that killed it, I guess, because
Yeah.
a lot of older Gundam fans will know the nuance. Oh, this guy's a Char, like representation. This guy and this suit reminds you of like Double Zeta or something like that. So I think they're like, oh, you guys used that for 30 years or 40 years at this point already. Like, why reintroduce him again, kind of deal.
I mean, that's fair. But like I said, wasn't really well versed when I first watched it. I just thought the concept was pretty neat. But then now that you're like giving the examples of which suit represents which suit, I can see it. Like 100%, that's what they were doing. But I mean, you could say the same argument almost for Seed then, right? Because that was also kind of like a mini reboot.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the original show is a retelling of 0079, and then Destiny is sorta Zeta. Like they're starting to do their own thing on it, but like, see, Destiny just crashes and burns super hard. Like I am out here like a big See Destiny fanboy, but like I'm not going to tell you that it's the best show around, you know?
Some other Eddie, thank you for the guide. Thank you. Welcome on in. I couldn't get into 00 personally. I want to love it so much, but I just can't get through it. I like the idea of Gundam X. It's more of a lot. I agree. It seemed like that's how like it would have ended up. And is there going to be a season 3 of 00? I'm not sure. No?
They made like a movie theater play or
Got
like a play thing, and
Yeah.
they're going to do radio dramas for like the Exterior Repair 4 or whatever stuff they're doing, but I don't think there's another
Actual
25
series.
episode anime in the future for 00 unless something changes.
Okay, fair enough. There you go.
They're on to New Pastures, which is going to be The Witch from Mercury.
That
And
looks so good.
it's coming out this October. Let's hope it's good. We've only seen like the promotional video, so we get to see main character and we get to see mobile suit.
And the model kits look pretty good. Oblique, have you gotten a chance to see that trailer?
I have not.
Okay, it looks really good from like just a trailer perspective, and the model kit. They already have three model kit designs out, and they look
Nice.
very, very interesting.
Personally, I'm pretty excited for the Kukuru's Dones Island movie because I'm very confused as to why they decided to make a movie out of it. But my favorite part is how Dones Zaku still has the weird long snout to it,
Yeah,
and I
but
absolutely love it.
I like how they sort of
Ow.
made the machine's lack of maintenance sort of causing that, where you can see like things are sort of disconnected and the snout is starting to droop because of the wear and the weather on it. Like that's a good way to sort of explain why it looks so weird.
Okay. There's going to be a prologue in the summer, with the main series coming in October. I think I saw someone talk about.
Yeah, that's with regards to Witch from Mercury.
Oh, okay, got it. Halfway spacey. Okay, cool. So Squiggle also agrees with the Seed analogy. And Seed Destiny crashes hard because the reasonings for doing what they do are poor. And you don't just commit war crimes and be like, "Oops, I did a war crime." Oh well, fair, Bell, fair. The pics of the Duan Zaku kit look sweet. I'm excited for those to come out. See, I couldn't care less about that young experience. Afraid Amuro. I'd rather have Zeta's. You know what? Amuro and Zeta was pretty like on point. I think like the maturity level, you could see that in the series personally.
Zeta Amuro is doing a lot of interesting things where he's like, he has his PTSD and he has to sort of like, he wants to come back and rejoin the fight, but it's definitely hindering him. And he like is able to break through that by the first time they're on Earth. And then when they're back the second time, he actually is in command of everything again. It's like a good way to sort of come back at the character sort of progression there, because like Amuro just hanging around on Earth doing stuff is a story that isn't focused on in the Zeta era, but it would be important. And then like, where the heck was Amuro during the entirety of Double Zeta? Like, my dude, you just go out?
She's like, yeah, I'm just chilling at my house. Oh, what's going on? Oh, okay.
I think Tamino getting the go ahead to do Char's counterattack probably was a misstep in getting that sort of Zeta, Double Zeta era of Amuro and Char doing things, because I personally I like Double Zeta. I enjoyed how Double Zeta progressed. I enjoyed the ending, but in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of skippable, which I know saying that Double Zeta is skippable is kind of a faux pas around here, but I think if Camino hadn't gotten the go ahead to do Char's counterattack, we would have gotten some very interesting Char and Amuro
that
stories.
is the scuttlebutt that they talk about. Like, Tamino got CCA greenlit while he was still doing Double Zeta, and he took his plans for reintroducing Char into the narrative and just took them and went home. Like, it sort of changed what the storyline was going to be near the end of that show, and Double Zeta is weaker for it.
If we're going to talk about changing the plot or whatever halfway through, what did everyone like? I'm probably gonna like see Destiny and the Switch like halfway through, just main character switch to back to.
So I guess this is going to be colored by only watching the remaster, but see, Destiny has a main character and it's Atheron Zala.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you might sit there and be like, well, of course it's Shin because he's getting all the focus and he has the Gundam, but no. Like, the show, as you're watching it, does not treat him really as the main character. He doesn't get to do all that much of anything, per se.
Fair enough.
So,
fair enough.
Him, like, getting dropped when Atheron goes back to hang out with Kira and friends, like, it's sort of coming a mile away because he just struggles to resolve his differences between, like, what he thinks is right and what Durandal is sort of asking him to do, versus how Shin is sort of, like, coaxed into doing what Durandal wants. And, like, by the time it finally becomes untenable and he leaves, like, that is the point where you're supposed to follow him, but a lot of people didn't quite go with it there, because Shin on his own can be very compelling.
Fair. Because I know a lot of people were kind of, a lot of people, I say a lot of people, a few people I know were a little not happy that it switched, because some of them wanted to see Shin get a proper character arc, proper, like, because everything got rushed at the end, like his, if you want to call it resolution to everything, like how everything worked out, but, and then just like, honestly, there's a lot of things I think that if they had the right, and I think it might have been a time thing, I'm not sure, and then there was also a health issue with one of the writers.
The writer got extremely sick in the middle of it, the main writer, who I think was like the wife of the director or something like that. And that's part of the reason there are so many flashback episodes in Sea Destiny and why it moves so slow in the middle.
So if they had the time, I feel like they probably could have fleshed Shin out more and made a little bit more sense out of it. Atheron, like Moo, Easy Gen saying it has legit the best writing. Fair.
Like, one of the things I want to put on the table with Shin is, like, people are saying here that they want him to have an arc, but I don't think he ever could have with the situation that he was in. Like, Ray is working with Durandal to keep Shin sort of traumatized and hanging out in that sort of, like, unable to move on from his loss.
Yes.
Because he is extremely strong and manipulatable while he is in that situation there. And the only thing that really starts to sort of break him out of it is when he is sicked on Atheron as he's leaving. So then he just has to kind of sit there and he's doing like, man, is this really right? And he's going to get out there and fight for it, but he is like not nearly the man he was previously as he's doing that.
I mean,
Like,
that's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
Speaking of screwing people over, what drill are you using to drill that? Like,
I have so these are like old drill bits, and they kind of broke, which is why it's like this right now. So I have to use this to slowly twist. But this one is the 3.0 millimeter drill. But I use this one to start the hole, and then I work my way up through different sizes. But the concept of what I'm doing is I'm trying to add the knee pads from the is that the dead side or the live lights? Can't tell anymore. Onto the legs to thicken them up, so that basically the connecting point that I've added will add tension to the piece to keep it on until I'm satisfied where it's at, and then I can glue it into place and then cut off the excess bit here. If I was showing it off earlier, now I'm struggling there, kind of thing. And then it has a little bit that sticks up at the end. That makes sense.
so, yeah. So Joe and the others in the voice chat, or even in chat, I do have a general question, because for kit bashing, I know there's a lot of people who have like a lot of tools, and there may be too many tools to use. What's your favorite or the most necessary tool to use when you're doing any kit bashing?
Ooh, you know, you'd like to say it's the nippers or something, but it's, for me, it's either going to be the super glue or the drill set, because those are very key for me, and they work in conjunction together to keep things together, like as we see here.
The political answer is your imagination.
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 Yes, it's just thinking the same thing.
You know, I was hoping Joe would say that, but no.
I did
Decided to give him the opening.
I did the rainbow thing though. Imagination. Oh, that's good. What about you guys? When it comes to, we can even not necessarily kit bashing, but let's say just building. What is your number one tool that you require when building?
A good set of snips, like a decent pair of side cutters, either a pair of God hands or the GP Gundam Planet snips. Just something that's very sharp, can cut very clean. Just having a set of good snips will save you a whole hell of a lot of work.
That's fair.
Yeah, Black actually says in the chat, and I agree, a really good saw.
Ooh.
Like a portable saw, because there are times where you need to cut a part in half. Like, for example, if you're cutting a torso, you really do need a good saw to either extend the waist for proportion, or if you want to just make the arms longer. Yeah, I think for me that's the most important tool. And I see a lot of people just gouge on one of those ultrasonic cutters, which is about $400. One day, if I have money to spend,
I was gonna say, does it work though? Does it work?
It works really well. I hear it cuts like butter. No effort at all.
Oblique?
Yeah, I have to second that, having a really good pair of nippers. Because, when I first started the hobby, I got one of those, there's a $10 bundle on Amazon of, nippers, files, a hobby knife, that's it. But when I started to get better sets of nippers and the God hands too, it just saved so much time and work, like was mentioned, and allowed you to have a lot of precision without having to worry about applying enough pressure with the blade, because that was an issue I had with the hobby knife in general, was trying to take this little part like the V-fin and cut the extra off while also pressing it against a solid surface. It was just a little rough.
I think we might have had the same starting set from Amazon.
Were the nippers blue?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. That's it. But you got to start somewhere, and you don't want to.
That's fair.
Spend a ton of money if you don't know you're gonna like it.
Well, the other fun thing about it too is I'm an engineer by day trade, so I'll walk back to the modification station, and oh boy, there's the exact same nipper sitting right there for cutting wires. Huh?
That's too funny.
But honestly, I've always said this was if you have the money, and you want to spend the money on the better tools, sure. But honestly, use what you got. If you got only the starter set, hey, there's nothing wrong with just starting with the starter set. we all start somewhere, right? I think you said that Oblique just now. Like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So like for the longest time, what was I doing? I was just using the hobby knife to drill holes because I didn't have, didn't have a drill. Not the safest thing. I'm not gonna promote that, but you know, whatever works. Like right now, to make the hole just slightly bigger, I just turned it around in the hole, kind of thing. Some people are saying in chat, oh, the brass rod. That's actually really good. Hobby knife. Glue cement, maybe even calipers.
Calipers are really helpful,
Yeah,
especially for scribing.
Without a knife, you don't really get anything done as far as customization goes. And then Squiggle mentioned it will melt the plastic though due to the friction heat. I think that's the one you were talking about, Spuds. That particular drill.
Yep. It's a knife, but
Oh, sorry. Sanding sticks. I have a newfound love for sanding sticks. I never did the traditional sanding because I started with a glass file. That's what I mean. Like, you only have a glass file? Hey, it works. But sanding sticks are like some next level stuff. I didn't realize how well you can sand with a sanding stick.
Fall Dog is saying clamps. Clamps are only necessary for mechanic core kits. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think Fall Dog had a really interesting one. It's regarding storages.
Oh yeah.
If you want to read it out, because I'm trying to find. Oh, counter idea. Good storage. When you're building or taking a break between builds, being able to find and organize your tools makes a world of difference. I agree, but also will extend that to parts. If you can separate your parts like into a nice way, then it's a lot easier to find. Let's say I'm looking for a leg. There's a leg bin, or you know, a head bin. I tried with Ziploc bags. It's better to have a bin. So I you know what, storage, I can agree with that 100%. And Banana Kid, hello, welcome on in. We're joined by Oblique, Spuds, a Nelsonator, and Shroud.
Hey, it's me. I just kind of showed up out of nowhere to kind of try and talk some sense into Nelson, but turns out that I didn't need to do that because we're both on the same page, just saying all these Japanese phrases in our white voices. Ore no kono tega makani moeru.
Oh lord.
Watashi wa Gundam da.
Onegai shimasu. Sanding sponges. I've never had the pleasure of using sanding sponges. How well do those work? Does anyone in
Those are great. So those are really good for rounded edges. So if you're doing like a Xeon kit, which Xeon kits have like, they're notorious for having like rounded like surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really helpful. Or if you're just like, you know, buffing it out a little bit.
I wish I could see an example. Do you have an example that you can share?
So actually the brand that you're using for the sanding sticks, Infinity,
yes,
they do come in like a higher grit. So there are two types of sanding sticks. One's hard and soft. Self-explanatory.
Right.
But the softer ones are they all have the same grit numbers, but they're like thicker. So they're very soft to touch. So
okay, I get it.
Yeah, you know, Gum Primer had one of those like balancers. It's kind of like that, but with a specific grit number.
Okay, I can understand when you explain it like that. That makes sense. Makes sense. Cool.
Also, for people who don't like spray paint or have like a gloss finish station, you could use like I think like 30,000 or 3,000 like grit and just shine your way out through all the kits, and it will be just as glossy as if you just put a clear coat on top.
Did you just say 30,000? Or sorry?
Oh yeah,
30,000 grit.
30,000.
And that's some fine grits. That is for you get mirror finishes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Some people use that like after they put decals on top and then they clear coat it. They use that to buff it out so that you don't see those edges.
Just the line, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's
it's great for reducing the presence of the seams of water slide decals, because even like I love water slide decals, but you know sometimes they can still have those hard edges to them and be look pretty obvious. So using those super high grit Sanding sticks, sanding sponges just really helps with reducing that edge.
Can I ask what's the benefit of using a sponge over like regular sandpaper?
I'll
Yeah.
let you take that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if you don't mind. So it basically is based on how hard you sand, because a lot of people don't realize is that when you sand a part, some people, like for first timers especially, they think that if you sand as hard as you can, then you can get things out quickly. But sanding is more about just the process of doing it little by little. And the advantage of having like for example, stick type ends like a regular sandpaper, it depends on the part, what type of part you're dealing with. So let's say if you're just doing like a very flat surface on like a leg, it might be easier to use a stick because it's easy to hold and you can get like the constant surface. I think that's what we call it. Like you can get a good parallel perpendicularity of it so that the kit doesn't look like it has like a rounded edge on like a square part. But for like sandpapers, if you're dealing with something like inside of a burner or something like that, that might be very useful. Like some people actually like use the sandpaper to attach it to like a Dremel, and they take out the seam lines on like, let's say the Zaku, those like pipes they have around their head. Yeah, they use that to like smooth those out or just like get rid of the seam lines from there or the mold lines.
Bell the Sheep in chat, who was also brought up the point that I was going to bring up. Sponges allow for better contours, so you can really get a nice rounded shape on sponges a lot easier than you can with actual sandpaper. Sandpaper is still pretty stiff, all things considered, so it's hard to get. It's hard to sand off rounded edges with sandpaper as opposed to an actual sanding sponge. You just can't go as hard with a sponge.
Right, and this is how I learned the difference between those two. So I actually had a sandpaper and a sanding sponge, and I used like a higher grit, and I used it to kind of like don't try this, but basically I was buffing my nails with it, right?
Interesting.
And when I used the sanding, well, and this is where I learned, like I put in a lot of force when I was using a sandpaper, then on a sanding sponge. So I constantly look at my nails and see there are some like scrape marks. Those scrape marks if you just like do it really, like if you shave it really hard and then it just like flies off your finger kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like the paper, not my nails, but. So it's kind of that. Yeah, it's kind of that a feeling that you have to really consider. Like, okay, do I really don't want to make any mistakes while I'm dealing with something like this? And you kind of learn as you go. Like, it's easier to use like a sponge or a stick rather than just like a paper. But paper also has its advantage to it.
I remember using a combination sanding paper with to get a straight edge. I used it with I guess a solid straight edge, the glass file. When I was trying to, if you remember the Azure Buster Gundam Full Metal Jacket, to get that waist more squarish, like Tougher Grit worked with that one better than like anything else I was using. So yeah, I think the sanding paper worked better for that option. Also, just want to point out we did the modification that Nelsonator suggested, and we have it on the hood.
Yeah.
And it actually fits perfectly. Now I just got to find something to cover up that with. His regular head, where it was. Great. If you need another suggestion for people out there getting the kit bashing, if you need to fill spots up in your kit bash, green stuff actually works really well, and that's what I was using on my other kit bash that I was sanding down, because you give it like 24 hours to cure, become solid, and you just gotta pretty much buff it out and like shape it properly. And again, I suggest sandpaper personally. That worked best for me. But we got a decent looking kit here. Sorry.
One other thing I'd like to say here, now that we have sort of reviewed where the build's at, from the Clueless Wanderer, $5. Might not have time to join the stream, but have a nice Plamo weekender.
Hey.
Thank you, the Clueless Wanderer.
Let me also catch up here. I tend to have paper when I get a lot of material. Green stuff is good for some stuff, but bulk filling a proxy sculpt is nice. Well, there you go. In terms of this build, I might change out the backpack, the wing things here, I guess the boosters, but we'll see. In terms of weapons, I think we might go with the Barbaros Lupus Rex tail because I feel like that would fit the aesthetic, and I still want to have the claw hands like on this thing. But that's what we got so far, guys. Thoughts?
That looks really nice. Could you show it on the screen one more time?
Yeah, for sure. Let me catch up on screen here too.
Look at that.
Right? And it's just like
yeah, I
simple.
really like it.
Very,
With the
very
hood.
Yeah, and you
Very
know,
cool.
and with like the IBO kits like we were mentioning, they are very interchangeable. So if I wanted other shoulders like from any of the other kits, you can just pop it on. But I think for the aesthetic we're going here, it's not bad at all. Love the boosters. Big hand, yeah, that definitely works. Maybe just use a Gundam jewel for the Yeah, that's you know what that might work. Just a regular jewel to sit there. Question, I guess we can go in terms of kits. Well, this is pretty much almost where I want it at. As you see, we also added the knee pads here to thicken up the shins, just with the peg system we were working there. But is there a kit that you guys wanted but you missed out on it because it was like a limited run or like it's out of print now?
The real grade unicorn perfectibility. There's a bit of an in joke around my server, the R Gunpla server, where before the real grade perfectibility was even announced, I I made a joke about how I would trade my daughter for a real grade perfectibility, and this was before she was born. This is we were pregnant at the time, but I was like, I will trade my kid for a real grade perfectibility. And then they came out with a real grade perfectibility, and everyone brought the receipts from when I said it. And every single time it's come up for sale, it's either not been a good time for me to drop $90 on a real grade kit, or I wasn't prepared for it, and when I went to go buy it, it was sold out.
Oh.
Nowadays it's a bit easier to come across, but I'm less active in my building now because of job and parental obligations. So I'm not fiending for it like I used to be, but if one were to drop in my lap, I would not say no.
That's fair. Some people are also saying some people didn't know it was out of print. How much was the RX Phoenix anyways? One person's asking if anyone knows. I don't know.
Depending on
Yeah,
where. I think there was like 3 different type of releases.
There was the master grade. There was the high grade that was like closed and had the gold plating. There was the high grade that was open and did not have the gold plating. It maybe
Tux was specifically asking about the real grade Phoenix, and again, we have to verify: are we talking about the narrative version or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the Blu-ray special edition $300 set?
Yeah, that thing. But as far as the narrative version, which does pop up from time to time, I don't think it's not out of print because these come in cycles, but it is when it is available, it's about $140.
Also, Jason would like to mention Shroud is pregnant. Congratulations. Just there.
Congrats!
The only thing I'm pregnant with is having multiple bruises, but thank, I guess.
Pacific Rim figures for Dragon. I'll Noah 0 for Annoying. That was the only a special coding PG Unleashed that was only released in China. Ooh, Fall Dog. Fair.
Mm-hmm. Savar Colfer with the Master Grade Turn A and the Master Grade Turn X. Those are difficult to come across. as the owner of both the Master Grade Turn A and Turn X, when you get the opportunity to buy those, get them. They are both fantastic kits. That's another one of my Grail kits is the Master Grade, the Turn A Moonlight Butterfly Edition, where that's got like the pearlescent plastic and the Moonlight Butterfly effect parts.
Oh, the nanoskin version.
Yeah, the nanoskin version.
I think they're saying something about re-releasing that as P Bandai. I think.
I wouldn't be surprised because because I think the nanoskin version came out when P Bandai was a thing. So.
Also, everyone's saying congratulations because Jason says we're gonna have a baby together. I'm so proud.
Omedeto!
Jason, stop confusing our plotter / grand plotter.
I have a very weird discontinued kit that I really want to get because I had it in the past. HG.
Okay.
G Savior.
No, don't remind me of that movie, Canada's Mistake. Oh.
I remember when that got a reprint a couple of years ago, and the entire Discord server, because USA Gundam Store got a very large shipment of it. And basically everyone bought it and cleaned out their stock because the G Savior design is not bad, and the HG G Savior kit, it's pretty good for a kit that came out in the year 99 before high grade was kind of like a standardized grade. But yeah, the a lot of people bought that high grade G Savior kit unironically.
So Spuds, what would you do if I told you that I had one and I took it for parts?
That's fine because my 12-year-old my 12-year-old self did the same thing. I made a video about it too, and I basically took the space binders and attached to an RX-78, painted like shiny green with a Gundam marker and some Sharpies.
Hey.
And yeah, G-Saver, for my experience, it was a very decent kit. It's very underrated, but it's just really hard to find. And there's a lot of things that you could do with it. And for kit bashing purposes, yeah, it's definitely a great kit to find, if you can find it.
Yeah. I bought mine it was a built one already, so it came in a lot. I'm like, I've never seen this one before. Oh, it has pretty cool legs. I'm gonna take these legs and use it. And then I found out afterwards.
Yeah, the legs are pretty flimsy, very, very, very thin. It's almost like a frame,
right?
If I remember.
Yeah, they're very thin, and they're perfect for kit bashing because you could just slap armor on them, however you want, because they are basically just sticks with a big old seam line down the middle.
For myself, a kit that's discontinued. But I think they announced. I'm not sure if it was an official announcement, but they're gonna reprint them. Are the G Gundam kits that came out? They reprinted them not too long ago. Then they stopped, but then they're coming out again. Because I assume the God Gundam coming out RG that they're gonna reprint the old school kits as well. Because I'd like to pick up some of those and So if I don't kit bash, I also like to take old kits and modify them to have modern kit sensibilities, if that makes sense. Articulation, joint movements, the whole works. So I would love to get those the Shuffle Alliance and redo that. I actually following somebody on Instagram who's doing that themselves right now and adding scratch build parts to it too. Beautiful work. Oblique?
For me, something I've been looking around for a while, which now that I actually pulled it up on my phone, it looks like it's on eBay, is the HG Titus.
Oh, right. With the thick shoulder.
Age 1 Titus.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah, I've never bought a kit from eBay. I don't know what your folks' luck has been.
Depends where it's coming from, honestly.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I would say. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say anything from Japan, you're probably you're getting the shipping price included in it, so it will be the actual kit properly sealed and everything. Anywhere else, your mileage will vary, I think personally, unless it's from the States already. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I think when buying things online, just use regular sensibilities. Like, make sure that the shipping price is reasonable, because a lot of the times, what I'll see online is people will make the kit, whatever you want to purchase cheap, but jack up the shipping price. That's usually a red flag.
Yeah. That's how they get you. They make you think the price is low, and then you look at the shipping, boom, it's like if they had added it together. That's just one.
Well, yeah, because right now this one's listed as $21, and I'm like,
I mean, for a high grade Titus, that's about right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people are saying, I love the G Savior, G Gundam kits, MG when I should buy the G Gundam HGs if you can find them. They're super. Or are you talking about the HGs? Okay, if you're talking about the old school ones, those are like dirt cheap, like $5-10 depending. My money's on if they reprint old G Gundam kits. I hope they get revised. I would love to see those redone, 100%. You did, Max. You did share it to me. I've seen that before. It looks really cool. Most of the association with the Titus at this point is the Madoka Titus meme build. Just check the seller. Generally, eBay will protect the buyer. That's also true, though. Don't forget your protection as the buyer, like when you're purchasing anything online too. Same thing with PayPal. I think there's like if you use PayPal, I think you can like argue against it if it ends up being a scam or something.
Right.
Speaking of age kits, one kit that I was also actively seeking out was the Mega Size H1, because I love me some chunky kits, and the Mega Size line was just absolutely perfect for me, even though they were basically just oversized high grades. But like the H1 normal was probably my favorite design out of Age. I unironically love the backpack spoiler. I think it is like just the whole Age 1 normal design. It's classic, but it's got enough of a twist to it that I just really enjoy. And getting that in a mega size, just man, that's really cool.
I mean, I do love the spoiler on the H1. I'm not gonna lie, that's so cool of a design aesthetic. There's a mega size Age. Oh yeah, there's a mega size H1.
Yep. There's a Mega Size Age 1 and a Mega Size Age 2, because Age was airing when the Mega Size line was introduced. They didn't really do much with it. There's the Grandpa, a couple of Zaku's and the Age 1s, but or the Age kits. But yeah, the Mega Size Age 1 and Mega Size Age 2. Who would have thought?
Otherwise, if anyone else wants to chime in, you're more than welcome to. Any kit that has escaped your I wouldn't say clutches. That seems very diabolical.
Grasp.
Thank you. You're more than welcome to jump in. Looks awesome, Joe. Thanks, VFX. Yeah, I did that for aesthetics.
Joe does look awesome, yeah. Joe specifically, you look so damn handsome in that corner.
Thank you.
It's amazing. I don't know how you keep your hair perfect with that giant headset on, but I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I try. I live to.
It's not actual hair. It's just sculpted.
Oh, got it. It's like a helmet that comes with the headset.
It's a kit bash.
I kit bashed my hair.
He kit bashed his hair.
Real quick, we did get it. Did we mention the $25 donation from Gunpla Neon?
No.
Well, I'm mentioning it right now then. $25 from Gunpla Neon. Thank you so much. I did also see a $5 donation from the Clueless Wanderer, in case that wasn't read. I don't know if it was or not. It might have been.
I think Nelson got that one.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, thank you for the donation, everyone. And Neon.
Heck yeah.
Here's a neon heart with a Joe in the middle.
Y'all so cute. It's so adorable.
Almost spat out my drink. Thanks, Jason.
Gundam Pocket asks very nicely for no uwu, and Jason, you just continue to spit on their hospitality.
Hey, listen, they're the ones that brought the promo code back, okay? Were you here for that, Star? I don't know if you were here for that, Star. They brought the promo code back.
I was here for it. I was in chat.
Okay.
I couldn't join any calls earlier because my wife was working, literally 2 feet away from me.
Working on a
right?
school night in this economy.
Then just get in a car accident. You don't have to work at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big brain play. Just get in a car crash, and then you don't have to do anything important.
Yup.
How are you feeling, by the way?
I'm good. Thanks. Not about me.
Are you starting to get the pregnancy cravings? By the way,
Jason. Jason, please. River says hi.
Hi, River. How you doing?
Hi.
Aw.
Say hi to 122 people, River.
Hi.
She wait.
What? You can't talk to me.
No.
That is River. That is Stroud's actual child. For those of you that do not know, she is precious and amazing. But the kid looks awesome, dude.
Thank you. And
You got through the whole thing in one stream. Jesus.
I mean, like I said, a kit bash can be very simple, guys. Just a few parts changed, but I will also get this totally painted. So, will the head come with the hand like that too? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But
Them big old yowie hands. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
River, do you want to say hi to Joerinferno?
hi, River.
She said hi, but she didn't say it loud enough for the microphone.
Just for it to pick up.
Aw.
Oh.
You can't hear me.
We heard you that time.
All right.
All right. So we've got a couple minutes left before your segment is up. Is there anything that you wanted to plug? What do you got going on next week? Do you have anything fun going on in your streams?
I'll be continuing the kit bashing. I have a list of people that I kit bash. I'm going to be kit bashing in representation of on Twitch. It'll be on next time. I'll be on. It will be Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So check me out, Joerinferno. Or just follow any of the if you go to the about page on Plamo Weekender, all my socials stuff is there. You can check me out there as well. I do put some videos up from the stream as well, so feel free to check it out.
Heck yes. I'm just putting a link so that people can go follow you because I forgot to make them for others. Oh, Plumber Bill Report already has it. I'm good.
Thank you.
It gets me out of it.
But also,
Gets me out of
I
doing
got
work.
you.
also, I am doing. I did get my community challenge for the horror game stream happening next week, so that's going to be on either Friday, Saturday. Stay tuned for when that's actually happening because it's going to be a long one. That's about it for me.
Horror time, horror night.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Stroud, Jester of Jumbo said Jets has a message for River. Tiny child, eat your vegetables. Don't be like Uncle Jason. Eat your vegetables.
Anyways, that's all I got going on for next week, though. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping in, and thank you so much for sharing the stories and the build stuff. And this was a lot of fun to just sit back and watch. So thank you all for letting me just kind of rest my voice for a while too.
no worries.
Yeah, it's great seeing you. Of course, EA Spuds will actually be closing out the event, Plumbo Build Report, at the end of Sunday. And then Oblique will be joining us as well on Sunday. Very fun. I'm looking forward to both of those, and I will be seeing you then.
Thank you.
I'll
Sounds
probably
good.
be really haggard on Sunday. You think
Oh,
I'm low
yeah.
energy now.
Oh yeah.
Nah, I'm feeling good. I hope you guys are feeling good too. And thank you so much to everybody that's donated thus far. Again, we are just over $700 from our next donation goal. That's really awesome. First day, nearly 5K is awesome stuff. So thank you everyone that has donated. Remember, a $5 minimum donation gets you automatically entered to win all of our giveaways on Friday, as well as our weekend long giveaways, such as our grand prize, the high resolution, Gundam Stray Powered Red, and several other unlocks as we continue to receive more donations. All of our daily giveaways can be found on the About section of this very Twitch page, so go and check those out as well. And in just a couple of moments, we'll be switching over to AO Mecha for the next couple hours. After that, we've got Tsukimi Bidorni, who is in the chat right now as well, and Hoshino Shar for a little bit of a VTuber block later on tonight. So, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been wonderful. And I think it's time for us to switch over, yeah?
yeah, sure.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. All right, and we are clear. Thank you so much, dude. That was so fun.
No worries. Can I hit the stop button?